What's up, YouTube? It's your boy BioSpider 3.0 back with another figure review. Let me start this video off by saying sorry, guys, for the long review for that Mafex Thor in-game Thor figure. I apologize, dude. Never made a review that long before. Literally an hour long. Yeah, that's my bad. The first time I tried to upload it, it was actually taking so long that I was gonna just edit the video and have it in two 30-minute parts and just split it up like that, like I always do usually with the long videos. But it finally decided to upload the whole hour, and so I was just like, okay, I guess I'll keep it this time. And I'm again, my bad for making that review so long. I don't even blame you if you didn't watch it, because I know nobody wants to sit through an hour long review. But that was a really, really cool figure, and somehow I just ended up talking about it for like a whole hour. But if you haven't seen that review, I would suggest like at least just check it out. Maybe like half of it. Maybe like the first half or the last half. If you want to split it up, however you want to do it. But just take a little peek at that video. I think that Mafex Thor was really, really cool. Definitely one of the coolest figures I've gotten thus far. I've had so much fun posing it around. I was gonna include it in the size comparisons for this video, but I got him posed up, kind of like fighting Thanos right now, and I just love the pose that he's in so much that I didn't even want to take him down. So, you're not gonna see him today in size comparisons, but I'll be sure to pull him down for the next review that we do. But anyways, today we are taking a look at this champ right here, the Amazing Spider-Man from the No Way Home 3-pack from Hasbro. And this is the only guy out of the 3-pack that I got, because I felt like he was the only one who was, worthy of even, any money from the 3-pack. Not to say that the other two figures were bad by any means. I just don't feel like they were worth the price. I believe the entire 3-pack went for about $100 retail, like 99 basically, or something like that, and around $100. And I was like, man, for 3 figures, and they didn't even give us alternate heads, which honestly, I'm just like, that was such a letdown. I feel like, Hasbro really dropped the ball there. They didn't even give us, the alternate civilian heads for any of the, Peter Parkers. So I was like, man, that's a letdown. It would have been really, really nice to get, an updated Andrew Garfield head sculpt for this guy, but obviously we didn't get that, so guess we got to work with what we got. But nevertheless, I feel like this figure is truly amazing, pun intended, dude. Like they actually, you can tell they took their time with this one, and I feel like most of the budget for the 3-pack went into making him. And I don't really have a problem with that, because I've been wanting a screen accurate Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie figure for a long time. I know we got the one from Hasbro from like 2014, and I actually had that figure, but I can't seem to find him lately. I was gonna do a comparison just to show you how much better this one looks from that old one. Even though I do really like that old figure, but I don't know, I feel like it has more of a comic type of feel to it, and it wasn't really accurate to the movie. And this is obviously much more movie accurate, and it just looks a lot better. So I was gonna do a comparison, but like I said, I can't find that figure. So when I do find it, I'll show it off in a future video, and then I'll do a comparison and show you side by side what those two look like standing next to each other. But this guy, man, like aesthetics alone, he looks absolutely fantastic. I love the way he looks. So well, actually, we'll start off with play and display today first, and then I'll show you the accessories afterwards. We'll do size comparisons at the end, and then we'll just get on out of here, because I don't want to keep you guys too long. But man, this is a cool figure. And yeah, so we'll start off with play and display. So right from the jump, for his articulation, I've kind of kept him in a static pose. I've had this figure for like probably a month now. It's been at least a month for sure. And I just kind of kept him in a static pose like this. This is how he came out of the package pretty much. And I haven't really moved his arms or his joints or anything around much, because I wanted this to be a very, true review for you guys, without, messing around with him too much. I wanted you to see his articulation as it would be as if I just got him, right out the package. So I've had him pretty much standing like this the whole time. So yeah, let's get into play and display. And then I'll talk about the things that I like about this figure and that I don't like about this figure. And then we'll look at the accessories and, you know, talk about some other stuff and size comparisons, and we'll head out. But first and foremost, we shall start with the head articulation. So he is on a ball joint. He could look up that far, which is pretty nice. There's your side view. All right, so pretty decent looking up. He actually could look up a little better, but I'll discuss that a little bit later. Looking down, he goes that far. All right, so that's pretty. I'd say that's pretty good. I'd say that is pretty good for looking down. And then of course, being on a ball peg, he can rotate his head all the way around, 360 there. And he does get some tilt action, of course, on that ball peg. Nice leaning side to side, so there you go. And that looks really good. And then as far as the arms go, his arms can come out to the side and pretty much all the way up, way better than a 90 actually, so that's really good. I really like that. Being that this is a Spider-Man character, I like to see that extra, you know, range going up, so that looks really good. Back down by his sides, of course, we get a full 360 rotation out of the arms from the side, and you can see he's got a butterfly joint, which is, I would say, decent, maybe not the best, but it does allow him to get a little extra range, so let's see that. So moving the arms forward with that butterfly joint, it's not that great, to be honest, and I feel like it's just because the way they sculpted the shoulder, it really doesn't allow you to bring okay, there we go. I take that back. Okay, so now we can get the arm in a little deeper towards the chest there. So there you go. Not too bad, right? Not too bad. So he gets a little bit of range coming forward, and as far as going back with that butterfly joint, he really doesn't get much going back. I mean, a lot of that going backwards really isn't the butterfly joint. It's more of just like the hinge from the shoulder, but I mean, you get at least that much, I guess, going back, so not too bad, right? So you got that. Swinging his arm, holding his arm back right there. You get the bicep swivel, of course, right there. The shoulders. So you get a nice cut for the bicep swivel there. And then you do get double jointed elbows that allow him to bend really nice. You can, you know, bend all the way back like that. Kind of touch his own shoulder or his traps, you know. So you can bend all the way back like that. That looks pretty good. I like that. Plenty of range for that. And then for the upper part of the torso, he's got a diaphragm joint, and I believe this is like a reverse ab crunch down here. So for the diaphragm joint at the top, if you allow him, or if you push it all the way back, he can get about that much leaning, which is decent, I would say. Not too bad. Coming forward, he doesn't get much, you know, coming forward with only the diaphragm joint, but if you combine it with the reverse ab crunch, I believe they call it down here. The way this is cut, I believe it's like a reverse ab crunch. It's kind of like flipped. So like usually the cut would go like, you know, like this part would be up here and then it would come down and like that, but it's flipped upside down. So this is like a reverse. And I think that engineering kind of helps him to crunch forward a lot more. So once you utilize, you know, this ab crunch joint down here, you get a lot more leaning forward. Obviously, you get a little bit of a kind of like hump in his back when you do that from the back. Get a little bit of this curve action going, but it doesn't look too bad. And then you can lean him back this way. And wow, if you really utilize that, that's my first time actually doing that. If you really utilize that going backwards, you can get him basically doing the limbo, you know? How low can you go? Hey, how low can you go? So that looks really good. That's a lot of range going there, so that's nice. And the nice thing about the spider logo on his chest is that it is fully painted and sculpted all the way through. So when you bend him back, it is still continued right there, as you can see. Still goes deep into the chest as you bend back. You don't lose any of that detail, so that is always a nice thing with a Spider-Man figure. For the legs, you can kick up about, They do go out to the side just a little bit as you bring them up, but he can basically kick up at about just around a 90-degree angle. So there you have that. Move his arm out the way, kicking backwards. Only about that much, not very much range going backwards. Runs into the sculpt there, but he is on drop down hips a little bit, so you can kind of pull the leg down. So there you go. You can see I've got this leg pulled down a bit. You can see the gap in there now. And when you utilize that, he gets honestly not much more. It's still about the same. Runs into the sculpt, so he only gets like a little bit of range going backwards. But you know, it is what it is. Not too bad. And then we've got the what do you call it? Thigh swivel right there. So you can twist and turn that. Not too bad. Double jointed knees. Allow him to get that much bend back. He can basically kick his lower back, which is cool. Coming back down, we do have a hinge for the feet, so he's able to hinge down like that. And then he's able to hinge up that far, which is pretty decent, yeah. Human anatomy. And then we have some ankle pivot, which is really, really good. As far as out to the side, before I forget, our guy can almost do the perfect splits. He's just a little shy of like a perfect splits, but not too bad. I'd say that's actually decent, you know, a lot better than previous Marvel Legends Spider-Man figures that we've gotten from Hasbro. It's actually a pretty decent range kicking out to the side, so I like that. Not too bad, just shy of, you know, full splits. So there you go. And that's pretty much his range. You know, the upper diaphragm joint does also allow him, of course, to twist. So he can twist side to side when you use that upper part of the joint. So you get some nice rotation at the top part of the torso. So there you go. And I think that pretty much covers everything as far as articulation goes, right? I think that hits all the points. So yeah, there's play and display. This is a really good looking figure aesthetically, man. The only problem, major problem that I have with it is he's too dark. As you've probably seen by now, I had to kind of keep tapping my screen to have the light, you know, brighten up a little bit. You know, when I do my reviews, I always use natural light. So I've got natural light coming in through the window because I feel like that gives you guys, you know, the best sense of how these figures look in natural lighting. So that's why I always, you know, shoot these videos like in the morning or early in the day. But yeah, he is too dark, man. I don't know what's going on with that. And the ironic thing is when they released the original images of this guy for, like, you know, just like the renders when they were announcing that he was coming out, the colors were a lot brighter, and they were actually so bright that I was like, wow, that's kind of too bright. You know, he looks more like a comic Spider-Man than a live action suit Spider-Man. So I'll actually show you an image real quick. Find that image for y'all. So let's see, I'll pull this one right here. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So this is actually what the original, I'm just gonna move him aside for just a second. This is what the original render of him looked like right here. And you can see, excuse the thousands, I know I have a million tabs open at the top, just ignore that. I've been working on a project, so I had to have like a lot of tabs open, a lot of things I was looking at, you know, at one time. But anyways, haven't had the chance to clear that up. Anyways, you can see right here how bright the colors are, the red and blue on this suit from this original, you know, render picture. And this is basically, you know, how the final figure looks, but the colors are obviously a lot darker. They're like way more muted. And I don't know, man, I wish they kind of would have found like an in-between, because I feel like the final colors are definitely too dark, man. I don't know. It's like, I think what they kind of did was, I think they looked at the shots from No Way Home where he was kind of like in the shadows and stuff, or like you know, because when they introduced him, it was already like nighttime, you know, so like the lighting already wasn't great, and his suit looked, you know, just darker in a lot of shots. And so I feel like they looked at that and they kind of just decided to go with that type of, you know, color for the overall figure. And I wish they would have, you know, taken I wish they would have painted him with colors that were more, accurate to how he looks in the daytime, like when the light's shining on him, or even from like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 when there's like more light on his suit, because I feel like that overall is like a better representation of how the actual suit looks. And then, like the shadows or whatever and all that would have, that kind of would have just came naturally. If I feel like if they had gone with more of like the daytime colors and stuff on his suit for the figure instead of like how he looks at night, because I don't know, dude. I mean, the blue I feel like is not too bad. I feel like it could be a touch lighter, but I feel like overall this blue is actually like mostly right because he does have like a darker blue for his suit. But the red for sure I feel like needs to be lighter because it's too dark, man. It like man. So I remember seeing people's reviews of it, and I think a lot of them use like kind of like the harsh studio lighting. So a lot of times his suit will look fine like in reviews and stuff, and you'll think it looks bright. But when you get it in hand, like I know for me when I got it in hand, I was like, damn, he does look pretty freaking dark. And I started seeing other reviews and like pictures posted online, and I was just like, wow, he doesn't look, his colors aren't as bright anymore. And that's, I mean, to give you a true sense, I mean, that's how he actually looks. He's a lot darker than you probably think. So yeah, hopefully, I feel like my camera is actually doing a pretty good job right now of capturing, how he actually looks. I mean, I just tapped on it, the screen again to like kind of brighten it up a little bit so you can see the colors better. But how he's looked throughout this video, that's pretty much what he looks like in hand. Like his colors are too dark, man. That's the easiest way I can put it. So I wish Hasbro would have made his colors a little bit darker. I mean darker, lighter and brighter, especially for the red. The blue I don't mind too much, but I feel like the red definitely should have been a bit lighter. But I don't know. In the same token, it's kind of grown on me. After having him for so long, I've had him. Like I said, I've had him for like over a month now. So I mean, the red has kind of grown on me, and I feel like after a while it does start to match nicely with the blue. But at the same time, man, I don't know. I feel like it should have been a lighter red at the end of the day. The SH Figuarts release is coming out. Or actually, it's already out. I've seen reviews of it, and I would say their red is a lot better. I still don't feel like it's 100% accurate, but I feel like it just overall looks better because of its brighter nature. I don't know. I would really like to see Mafex do a redo of this guy. This suit. Because I know they did do a release back when the first or the second movie came out, and the paint on that figure was just it was bad. It was like a really light metallic red that like faded over time, and it just I feel like it didn't quite have like the movie accurate color to it, and it just has a tendency to like fade really bad over time. But yeah, man. I mean, that's just something I wanted to note. Well, let's see. As far as the accessories, before I start talking too long, let's take a look at the accessories next. So we got this little bag. Like I said, I got them loose. Obviously I didn't get the whole 3-pack, so I got a little bag for his accessories, which is pretty much just alternate hands and a web line. So he does come with 4 alternate hands. He's got another fist hand. You can see on him right now, he's got one fist hand and then one kind of like open gesturing hand. But he comes with, another fist hand right here. And all of the hands are painted very nicely, so I do like that a lot. A lot of nice detail in those. So I think that looks really good. Comes with an extra fist hand. He comes with 2 flipping hands. So I'll just show you one of them. Those are painted and detailed very nicely as well to match his suit, so those look good. And then he also comes with another, like a wall crawling hand. This is like a definitive wall crawling hand. A lot of people feel like, the other one that he came with, because, the 3-pack, they all come with like a pair of wall crawling hands. But him, this one is kind of like, a lot of people have said that this wall crawling hand on him is kind of odd because it's not really like a true crawling hand. It's kind of like he's curling his hands in like a weird way. It's kind of more like a gesturing hand, I guess. But yeah, so that's just something to note. But I don't mind it. I think it's a kind of cool, unique hand to Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. But yeah, man. like I said, this was pretty much the only one I really wanted out of the 3-pack because I already have the original integrated suit released for Tom, and the new one is pretty much the exact same figure. The only thing that really changed was like the colors. I think the red is a little bit, I guess, darker on the new one, and then the gray in his suit is more of like a blue. It's like a grayish blue type of color, and then they added, paint for the web lines, um, because they weren't sculpted into the original release. You can see right here. Here is the original integrated suit, and you can see none of the web lines are actually painted into his suit. It's just sculpted. So I was actually going to add a wash to this figure, and just to kind of like bring out those web lines and everything, and add a little bit more depth to him. But this figure was fine for me. This was actually a gift from my best friend, so and this original release was fine for me. So I didn't see any need to get one from the 3-pack, especially being that it would have been like about $33 that I would have been paying if you think about it, because the 3-pack being about $99, that's like $33 a figure. So I'm just like, no, not worth it. Sorry, Hasbro, nice try, but no, you're not getting me on that. But I did feel the need to definitely get this guy because I've wanted, a nice Marvel Legends version of this Spidey suit for such a long time. Like I said, we got that original release, but it was a lot more of a comic look, I feel like, and it wasn't truly movie accurate, even though I did really enjoy that figure when it came out, and I still do. But it just didn't have the same appeal as this one, obviously. So there is that. But yeah, man, Toby I didn't really want, just for the simple fact that I think they actually did a pretty good job, capturing the movie look of how he looked in No Way Home. I don't know if you guys noticed, his mask looks a little like janky, I would say, in the No Way Home. Like they did kind of change, like some of the, I think it's like the webbing pattern or something on his mask. It doesn't look quite the same as it did in like the older trilogy movies, but it still looks pretty good. And I actually think they did a decent job of capturing how he looked in the No Way Home movie. But I didn't. It's the dad bod, man. I just gotta be honest. It's the whole dad bod, Toby thing, in the suit. I know he wasn't like ripped in the movie, but I don't know, just like the way the figure came out, I feel like I don't know, he looks a little too chunky for me. The only time I'm a fan of like the dad bod for like a Spider-Man figure would be like, Peter B. Parker from, Into the Spider-Verse. That's pretty much the only dad bod Spider-Man figure that I would want. But as far as like a live action, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like they made Toby very chunky in his figure form, and I just wasn't a big fan of how he looked, to the point where, yeah, I was like, I'll pass on that figure. I'm honestly good with the the Toby figure I have from the first movie, but this is like an in-hand look right here. This is like an in-hand look of like all three from the 3-pack. So, obviously I have him. But yeah, here's Toby. You can just see how like thick and, I don't know, like chunky Toby looks. And I just didn't really like, the overall look of that figure. Like I said, I know he wasn't ripped, but I don't know. I was like, nah, I'll pass. I'll pass on that guy. So there's that. But anyways, yeah, as far as his last accessories, he does come with a clear, kind of like translucent web line. They actually, all three of them come with this. And this one is actually not that bad, from like the ones that Hasbro has given us in recent years. I feel like this one's not too bad. It's got a nice length to it, and you can see it's got like this little loop around there. You can attach that around his wrist to make it look, obviously he doesn't have his web shooting hand on right now, but I'll just show you real quick what that would look like. So you can kind of put it around his wrist and have him look like he's, web slinging or something. Whee! It's actually got like a substantial, weight. It's able to hold up his weight, so that's nice. So if you have the web attached to something, say in your room, you have him look like he's swinging or dangling somewhere from the web line. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, so that's like all his accessories. But yeah, man, like I said, this is pretty much the only one I wanted out of the 3-pack. And like I said, I already have that integrated Tom figure, and then I have this guy that I did a review on. this Toby figure from the first movie. Obviously, you know, the suit would be off because this is like the first movie suit, and his movie suit was a lot different by like the third movie. But still, you know, I feel like this could be my stand-in Toby for like No Way Home. I love the suit so much that I don't even mind it. So that would be like my three right there. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much the review on this guy. So let's get into size comparison so I don't drag this out too long. So first up, we will have him next to the GOAT, the McFarlane Spider-Man, my favorite comic Spider-Man figure of all time. So you can see these two side by side, and now you should get a good sense of just how dull his colors are standing next to this guy. You can see how much brighter the red is for this guy. Obviously this is a comic Spider-Man, so it's not really a fair comparison, but I just wanted to show you guys how much deeper and dark of a red. I mean, this guy is almost like a burgundy. That's like the best way I can describe it. He's almost like a burgundy color instead of red, but yeah, so now you can see like the difference between the reds. So there's the McFarlane Spider-Man, and since we grabbed Toby just a second ago, here he is with the first Spider-Man Toby, you know, the first Raimi suit Toby from Toy Biz. And I think these two actually look really nice next to one another. Actually, you know, I really like, for like I said, for a No Way Home display, this is what I would have. I would have these two next to each other side by side. And you can see like because if you, I don't know, I feel like in the movie, their suits actually looked like pretty similar in color. Like I would say Andrew definitely has like the darkest colors for like the suit out of the three of them. But I feel like him and Toby's suits are not like too different as far as like the red and blues go. So I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, for the figure they definitely made his red a little too dark. But there he is with him. We'll get him next to Tom, of course, next. It's only right. So here we are with the integrated suit Tom figure right there from No Way Home. Make sure, you know, he's facing the camera a little bit better there. So there you go. Now you can see those two standing side by side. I think that looks pretty good. And of course, we got to get him with a No Way Home villain. Even though this obviously isn't an updated version, but here we have the Toy Biz Green Goblin from the first Spider-Man movie. If I can get him standing. Alright, so there he is. I'm sliding back just a bit. There he is with the Green Goblin from that first movie. Alright. Let's get him next to Spider-Man 2099 from the Red Hulk Build-A-Figure wave from Hasbro. You can see these two. I think they look pretty freaking good. I like how those look next to each other. We'll get them next to an SH Figuarts. We've got the Crimson Go-Rider, aka Crimson Thunder Ranger from Ninja Storm. And there they are. They actually have, they're actually not too bad as far as height goes. You know, he's not too much shorter than him, so there you go. Let's see, we'll get him next to a McFarlane. We have the McFarlane Toys DC Black Adam, the cloaked Black Adam figure. And while he was standing fine a second ago, now he doesn't want to stand up. So I'll just hold him. But you can see the quite, you know, big size difference between these two. It actually doesn't look that much. He doesn't look that much bigger in person, but on camera, at least from this angle, he looks, you know, gigantic, ginormous over this Spider-Man. But I would say the height difference isn't that extreme. I don't know. I guess it just depends on the angle, but there you go. Let's see, here he is, here he is with the McFarlane Toys Catwoman from the Batman movie. Zoe Kravitz, there you go. She's got quite a bit of height on him. 7-inch scale versus, you know, 6-inch, so there you go. She should have an appropriate height over him. Here he is with the Dino Thunder White from Lightning Collection, my custom. So I'll just turn a little bit better there. There you go. And I really like how those two look next to each other. Pretty badass, right? So there you go. And who we got next? We will get, let's get a Black Series real quick. We've got Reva, the third sister from Black Series. Some Star Wars action. Turn her a little bit more towards the camera. There you go. They're actually pretty similar in height. So there you go. And of course, we'll get him next to Miles Morales, Mafex from Into the Spider-Verse. My boy. Looking fresh as hell. Fresh as ever, right? So there's some little Spider-Verse action for you right there. And let's see, what time is it? All right, this video is 30 minutes, so yeah, that should be long enough, guys. So like final thoughts on this guy, I would say he's pretty freaking good. He comes with a good amount of accessories. The web is kind of whatever, but I think the alternate hands are pretty good. Again, I feel like the colors are definitely too dark, but it is what it is, and I feel like once you get it in hand and like pose them around, have some fun with them, I feel like, the colors won't be too much of an issue. It'll kind of like grow on you, I think, over time. It's grown on me. I still think it could be lighter, but it has kind of grown on me. I have to admit that. And I think overall, like as far as the aesthetic goes, he's designed his other than the colors, I feel like the movie accurate design is definitely there. So I love, the back spider logo, the long, slender, skinny spiders. It definitely goes with Andrew's design, being the slimmer Spider-Man and everything. I really like how they sculpted that back logo as well as the front, and the fact that it's all the way continued. And it actually, this one thing about this figure is he actually has a really nice like metallic shine to him, because there's actually I don't know if you guys noticed that, like in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie and No Way Home, you can tell like his suit has a little bit of a metallic shine to it, and they definitely captured some of that in this figure. Despite like it would look a lot better obviously if the red was brighter so you could see it more, but you can kind of see like even on camera right now he's got like some shine in like to his suit on the red, and like the details even in the blue and everything are definitely there. There's actually like a little bit of texture into the blue parts, like a little bit of sculpted texture. You can kind of see, hopefully you can see, it's so freaking dark, but there's like sculpted lines and things going into the blue. As you run your finger across it, you can definitely feel it. The web lines, the black web lines, I think look really, really good. They are kind of raised from the suit, and they have like a nice kind of metallic like feel to them. Even though they're black, they almost look like silver in certain parts. And I feel like they just did a really good job, overall capturing his, like the movie look of the suit. I really like how they did the eyes, because that's one of the most iconic things about, this suit is the wider eyes and the lenses. The lenses actually do have a nice like reflective look to them. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but there is actually like a nice, especially when you have it in like certain positions in the light, they kind of did like a pearlescent type of like sheen over the lenses, so it looks like it's got some depth to it, and some depth. I feel like every time I say depth on camera it sounds like depth, but I'm saying depth like DEPTH. But anyways, I feel like overall like the movie accurateness is there. It's just the colors were a little off, a little too dark, but other than that they definitely captured the look. I like the long, slender. This definitely looks like Andrew Garfield, right? Like his physique in a Spider-Man suit. This looks like how he looked in the movies. So I really like that they captured that at least. And the raised webbing, the logo right there on the chest and the back looks really good. The head. This might sound weird, but I feel like the head shape is one of like the most pivotal things for like a Spider-Man figure, especially like this one. And I feel like they definitely captured Andrew's head shape in this mask, like from the profile, from the back, and from the front, like this kind of like big round head at the top, and then kind of like a square jaw. I believe that for the Amazing Spider-Man 2 they use like a face shell or something. Don't quote me on that, but I think they did use like a face shell so they had like another like a hard face shell under this mask, so that when he would wear it, it would kind of give it more of like a shape and wouldn't just, conform to his face to look like, have like any extra room or anything. It would look like it was like perfectly conformed to like his jaw and everything. So I really like that they captured that in this figure. It definitely kind of makes him stand out from the others. And that head shape, I feel like they did a good job capturing his head shape. So kind of like an egghead. But yeah, man, overall I really like this figure. If I had to rate it, I would give it probably like a 9.5 like a 9.8 out of 10. You know, I think it's pretty there, pretty good. Like it's pretty much right where you would want it. I feel like the colors obviously take it down a bit, but other than that, I'd say he's a pretty solid figure, and I'm definitely happy to have a updated, Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man 2 figure in Marvel Legends form. So he's gonna look great in my collection. Obviously, I can play around with him now. You know, articulation, throw the different hands on there and everything. So should be a lot of fun. But yeah, that's my review, guys. Sorry for taking so long. Here we are, 35 minutes, almost. Man, I just can't seem to make my videos short these days, guys. But like I said, I don't edit my videos really, so what you get is what you get. So if you do stick around to watch them, just know that I definitely appreciate you. And I want to say thank you and give a big shout out to my 2 new subscribers. I'm sorry I don't know your names right off the bat. I don't even know if I can check that. I'll have to check on YouTube Studio if I can actually see my subscribers' names, like the new ones. But we did gain 2 new subscribers to the channel. So I just want to say thank you to both of you guys that recently subscribed. It really means a lot to me. It's great to see the channel growing and everything. I love doing these videos, so thank you for rocking with your boy and hitting that subscribe button. Any likes or comments on the videos are always greatly appreciated. And hope you guys are staying healthy, happy and healthy out here, drinking plenty of water, especially in the summertime right now because it is hot. But this is your boy BioSpider 3.0. Thank you for watching this review. Signing out, and I will see y'all in the next one. Take care and God bless. Peace.